So my parents did something. Who is it? Who is it? Who's cute? Say hi. Say hello, my name's Figment. Who is that? Who is it? Who is it? Oh, you're just the cutest boy in the whole world. This is the cutest boy in the whole world, Fig. Yeah. Oh, good boy. Okay, you want to go back and play? You want to go back and play? I won't steal you forever and ever and ever and ever. It's your mom! Welcome back to Ever Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Ever Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Playing with Sharks. Playing with Sharks is a 2021 documentary release about Valerie and Ron Taylor's legacy on shark conservation. It's directed and written by Sally Aitken, cinematography by Ron Taylor, but with some extra done by Nathan Barlow, Michael Latham, Judd Overton, and Toby Ralph. It is edited by Adrian Rostirolla and music by Caitlin Yo. What a unique documentary that had such an incredible opportunity to have access to all this footage, because Valerie Taylor was diving from like late 1950s all the way through modern day, and they had footage from all of it because Ron Taylor loved to capture footage underwater, and so he was filming like with a Bolex in its own housing unit underwater. So we have all of this footage of Valerie diving with marine life. It is so sick. Like, normally this kind of stuff would have to be reenacted, or there'd just be photos, or it'd be a lot of talking head, and there is some talking head. But the majority of this film is footage Ron Taylor took of every dive him and Valerie went on. It is so unique in having footage all the way from 1958 to when, like, Ron's passing, basically, and then whoever covered her after that. Absolutely insane. So cool. Like, the fact that they had the forethought to be filming all the time, and Ron just wanted to film Valerie diving, one, because he wanted to film the marine life, but two, he thought she was beautiful and wanted her to, like, model for him, and they got married. Oh my god, it's just, like, the most unique experience I've had watching a documentary in a long, long time, where, like, all the footage they were showing, it was Valerie diving, and it was all his footage. Like, it's got the film grain, it's got, oh my god, it was so cool to see this in its visual format, because everything she would talk about, they had footage for, like the actual footage for. They didn't have to reenact anything, they didn't have to just like show one photo. They did show a lot of photos, but like, they had footage for it. It was so cool visually, period. This was very, very well structured. The opening was powerful with all the things that were happening, and then just diving into basically the life of Valerie Taylor, with Ron Taylor in addition, and how she went from spearfishing to a major shark advocate and shark conservationist, and marine life conservationist for all that, but sharks specifically. So cool. Very well structured. Makes sense. Tense. Gripping. So good. The music was actually really well done here. I didn't super notice it in most of the film, but there were a few moments that I was like, oh my god, like, perfect vibe, perfect feeling, really well done. I never know where to put the meat of, like, the subject matter in the story when it's a documentary, because it's not technically, like, fictional and written, but also it's structured and written with the director and the editor and everything, so I am going to put the majority of it here. So this is about Valerie Taylor, who is a famous diver who did a lot of advocacy for sharks, and basically it's her telling us about her life and how she came to be so strongly affected. And basically, you know, she started as a spearfisher, so a hunter, and her husband kind of just one day were like, actually, we hate this. Actually, it's really awful. And now we just want to capture the beauty and try to conserve and meet these animals. And she was like, no one really knows a lot about sharks. They all think they're evil, whatever. But over the course, like, she helped with a movie, Blue Water, White Death, I think it's called, where, like, they filmed a bunch of shark footage and they knew where to find, like, great whites and, like, all this kind of stuff. And then their biggest thing was they helped with Jaws. They, like, are the reason that the shark gets tangled in the cage or whatever, because that happened to them in real life. They had the actual footage of it. And so, like, they helped film, like, the underwater scene where the shark comes and, like, hits the cage with the guy in it. And, like, they helped with Jaws, and when Jaws, you know, came out, people started to hate sharks, and she and Ron were like, we don't understand. Like, it's a fictional film. People aren't afraid of running into King Kong every day. Like, 25 foot, you know, they're like, this doesn't exist. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you don't have to be afraid. But obviously it increased shark hunting and the fear of sharks, and they were devastated by that. So then they just really tried to, like, go on every interview they possibly could and be like, no, like, sharks are fine. Like, don't do this. And then, like, she tried really hard to prove that sharks aren't particularly dangerous. It's probably always an accident when a shark attacks a human. And so, like, she created, her and Ron and this other man created, like, a metal mesh diving suit so she could go down and try to get a shark to bite her to prove that it's an accident or prove that, you know, whatever. And so they show all this footage of her, like, it took her a long time to try and, like, get a shark to bite her with the metal mesh on. And when they did, it proved that the shark doesn't have any bite force. They rely on their teeth to saw back and forth. And so nothing happened to her arm. Her arm was completely fine, and that was huge. It got printed in National Geographic and was a huge deal. And then over the course of time, she started to be like, no, like, I want to prove that, like, great whites are chill and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And she's like, sharks are smart, like, they learn and all this kind of stuff. And she was like, no one's ever hand-fed a great white shark. I'll talk about it, but she has on camera a great white was swimming around, and she says it was a male shark, and she was like, he was really sweet, like, he was really curious. She's like, so I decided to hand feed him a fish. And so at first she had a little bit of fish on a string, and the guy, like, he'd come up and he'd chomp a little bit and try to get it, and then she finally, like, took a big fish and was straight up hand feeding him. And, like, when he took it, she, like, patted him on the nose and she was, like, petting him. Dude, I cried. I know that's probably really stupid, but, like, he was just such a sweet animal that people are afraid of. Like, he was so gentle when he was taking the fish from her hand. Like, he was so, like, curious and, like, gentle when taking it, and she's, like, you know, feeding it to him. And then when she, like, pet him on the nose and pet him on the face, I was just, like, I weeped. I was like, sharks are so misunderstood. I feel like a lot of animals are really misunderstood. My friend Janelle is obsessed with sharks. She has, like, informed me a lot. I didn't, like, hate sharks before, to be clear. I know that, like, they're an animal, they don't mean to attack people. And also, like, I know, like, people are afraid of sharks, but, like, statistically there's, like, way more things or whatever. But Janelle is obsessed with sharks and very, like, constantly informed about all things shark related. And so she's done a lot to open my eyes to the cruelty to sharks, and also that they're just big misunderstood babies. And so when I was watching this and I saw her be like, no one hand fed a great white shark, so, like, I'm convinced that they're just all big, you know, dog babies. So when she, like, seeing the footage of her hand feeding the great white and her, like, complete no fear and just, like, trying to reach and pet him, and her succeeding in that, and how big of a deal that footage was, I'm sure, for shark conservation everywhere. Like, that's insane to me. It's just so wonderful and beautiful. Dude, and there was, like, crazy statistics in here. It was like 100 million sharks were killed every year for 20 years or something. Like, actually bananas. According to this documentary, I haven't fact-checked this, but I don't know why they would lie, only 10% of sharks are left, dude, which is crazy because sharks as they say, you know, are millions of years old. They're one of the oldest creatures to still exist. So it's just bananas that there's only 10% of them left because they're being hunted and they're being, you know, finned, like, because of the fins are a big thing. They don't need the rest of the shark. They just take the shark fins, which is really awful. They like capture the shark and then they fin it and then they throw it back in the water. That is the cruelest thing. I don't understand. I don't know. And I've always been really passionate about conservation, the planet. Like, I care very much that we're destroying the planet. It's awful. So I did go ahead and donate to the Shark Conservation Fund. There were a lot of different shark conservation charities you could donate to. I went with the Shark Conservation Fund. I'll link it below. But I would definitely, if you feel so inclined to help conserve sharks and research and all that good stuff, find a shark charity or conservation that you would like to donate to, please. But I did do the Shark Conservation Fund because it's like global, so I wanted to do my part a little bit, you know? Do what I can, at least. I live in the Midwest, so it's not like I can go help clean up the beaches where I live, or, you know, go out and whatever. So I donated. The link is in the description of where I donated, but by all means, find what speaks to you. If you don't want to donate to a shark conservation, find an ocean conservation, marine life conservation, animal that you're passionate about, especially like a marine life animal, for this one, you know. So a whale, you know, whatever. Polar bears, panda bears, elephants. I love elephants. Catch me always feeling some way about them. But yeah, I cried when she fed the great white shark. This was so well done. It was so interesting. It was captivating, gripping, excellent. The beginning of this is genuinely so good because the audio mix that's happening is like you're seeing from under the water Valerie in a boat, like about to dive, and you're hearing all these famous audios, especially like the ones from Jaws, talking about how like sharks are bad and scary and monsters and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it was like really like, oh, okay, we're in it. Like, it grabs you right away. And I just thought that mix and that choice of using all that audio, chef's kiss. My favorite part is definitely her hand feeding the great white shark. I think it was so perfectly placed in this documentary that it had such a profound emotional impact on me. It was so beautiful. It was wonderful. It really drove home the message she was trying to send, I felt like. And so it's by far and away my favorite part of the film. My least favorite part of the film is definitely that this is still a problem. That sharks are still seen as big scary monsters and dangerous, and that they are hunted and finned, and, you know, just the over greediness of humanity. The greediness of humanity. They're gonna chop down everything they want. They're gonna hunt everything they want. We're, you know, the top of the food chain, blah, 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 to the point of, like, there's no balance in the land anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we only need to hunt what we need to survive, and we don't even need to eat shark, right? Like, we don't need to do that. Sharks are so essential to the ocean's ecosystem. So anyway, that's my least favorite part. My recommend 1,000,000%. This is one of the better documentaries to date. One of my favorites we've watched so far. It is so good. It's unlike, like, it's not exactly a nature documentary like these, you know, elephants, which I love, obviously, African cats, Monkey Kingdom. It's not like those because it's about Valerie and her experience with conservation of sharks. And it's just, like, it's so well done. It's one of the better documentaries I've seen from Disney, let alone, and then just to date, it's a really decent documentary. Watch again? I would. I would watch this, showing it to someone or something. Like, I really, really enjoyed this documentary. That's it. That's everything I have for playing with sharks. My final rating is going to be 8 sharks out of 10. Our total movie count is. Parent death toll and cry count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials and check out my website. It's really cool, okay? Seriously, please go look at it. Okay? Okay. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday, but mostly every Wednesday now. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early. Tiers with that, daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, etc. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. Don't forget to check out the link for the Shark Conservation Fund, and if you feel so inclined, donate or spread the word or donate to some kind of conservation effort that means a lot to you. Please and thank you. That's it. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, and I'm not in charge of your life. You are to you, and don't be greedy earth killers about it. Say hello. I'm big. You're so sweet. Okay, you want to go get her? Go get her!